What is going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are taking it to the Cataphract GL3 from Trials of Osiris, the Strand grenade launcher that took the world by storm when it came out during the Trials weekend, because it has bait and switch in that fourth column, so everybody lost their mind. And I will talk to you guys about my rolls that I have, as well as the god rolls for PvP and PvE, giving it a rating for y'all that is as neutral as I possibly can for the grenade launcher, because I do think it is very good and I don't want people to just think I'm a ride in that boat as well. But this thing has some very good rolls. This is my one grenade launcher that is adept that I really like, with auto loading bait and switch. I wish I had assassin, envious assassin right here, which this thing is pretty good since it does have explosive light. Now we do on the other hand have our Crucible one with chain reaction. It has 85 on the blast radius. Of course it has spike grenades, why wouldn't it? But this is a very good roll right here with volatile launch, high velocity, auto loading, chain reaction with a blast masterwork, so this thing can juice people around corners inside of the Crucible. But this is also a very good one right here with linear compensator, spike grenades, envious assassin, and explosive light. Those are my favorite and three that I have. Even though that this isn't adept, it still is very good. All of them also come with 3 origin traits: Alacrity to gain that reload, stability, aim assist, and range when you're the last living member of your fire team or running solo. One quiet moment grants that reload speed when out of combat, and Omolon fluid right here. This weapon has increased reload and stability for the top half of the magazine, so a couple different options depending on how you're feeling for that event, Crucible or raids, strikes, whatever you may be going into. Now, right here is what I would be considering the God Roll 5 out of 5 for the PvE realm, which I will give it about a 4.3, maybe 4.5 out of 5 for the PvE realm, because of the options you have for rolls on this thing, and it does output a lot of damage when you have everything procced, whether that be explosive light or bait and switch is definitely better with envious assassin, because you can hold like 12 in the magazine, so everything but that first shot is going to be at that juicy buffed damage. So bait and switch definitely the way to go, but for me I would definitely go with volatile launch in your first column right here for that plus 15 to blast radius. This does add a little bit to damage. I am 95% sure, you'll have to fact check me on that, but blast radius is good in both PvE and PvP. Now we are right here going with spike grenades, 50% increase to damage on impact. So this is also why spike grenades is super necessary in my opinion for that PvE realm. Why I wish that my adept one had it, but sadly it does not. So spike grenades essential for that second column. Now in the third column you do have a couple different options for that PvE realm. Envious assassin would be my number one and the 5 out of 5. So like I said, you can get those defeats with other weapons and then have this thing refill up to 12 in the magazine, maybe even 13, so you can proc it with bait and switch or one of our other perks and absolutely juice that damage. On the other hand, we do have auto loading holster, so you holster the weapon after 2.5 seconds. Very nice to pair if you have something like explosive light or that maybe even Vorpal in the third column. Bait and switch works as well for this, but you will have to reproc bait and switch after you put the weapon away. Now lastly, for my opinion, you have a demolitionist in that third column for PvE, so you can get your grenade back faster, or doing damage you can shoot your 6 of the grenades out, throw your grenade at the enemy, shoot your 6 shots from the grenade, then throw your grenade again, etc., especially with something like Strand. Now, in the fourth column where it really gets juicy, you could go with bait and switch. Definitely the damage buff of damages for that 35%. Pairing that with spike grenades, it is absolutely nasty, especially when you have Envious Assassin as well. Now, bait and switch is going to be the number one, but we got 2 other options in my opinion. Vorpal is one of those, so you can get that 10% damage increase against those bosses. Very good as well with Envious Assassin, so all 12 of those are getting that 10% buff. You could also go with Explosive Light last but not least, so you can get those 6 stacks that max the blast radius out and give us the 44% increase to damage. So you can see that is a pretty big jump from the 10% of a Vorpal weapon, and even bait and switch is only at 35. So this is pretty nice little buff right here, but it is only for 6, so you would have to shoot your 6, get it to proc again with more orbs of power. Well, bait and switch with Envious Assassin, you would have like 11 or 12 shots that are hitting at that 35, so that is why I think it is easily the best roll for it. Now, onto the PvP side of things, this thing is very good as well, having a 85 on that blast radius with chain reaction. It's pretty good for those enemies standing close to each other. Plus, that is my highest blast radius that I have on a grenade launcher. That feels really good. I used to use an arc one, very similar roll to this, which was my favorite. Had like 500-600 kills in the Crucible with it, so we are going to play a very similar roll to that. First off, we're going to be using that volatile launch for this with that plus 15 to blast radius, cranking it up to 85. We have high explosive ordnance as well for that plus 5 to velocity, as well as plus 10 to blast radius. Don't pay attention to the magazine, it doesn't crank it up to 44, I promise you that. Next, we are going with Impulse Amplifier in our third column. That gives us that nice juicy 35% faster projectile velocity, as well as increase to reload speed. You could go with something like Slick Draw as well, so you can have that increased handling for this weapon if you're just pulling it out between this and a hand cannon, this and your auto rifle, something like that. But I think that Impulse is definitely the way to go. And then in this final column, me personally think that this is your best option with chain reactions, so those damage with the defeats on this, it have that nice Strand explosion, so you can get that little extra damage on those guardians standing nearby. You could go with Vorpal if you wanted for those guardians in their super, but I do truly think that chain reaction would be the 5 out of 5 for this, with blast radius as the masterwork on both PvE and PvP. For PvP, I'm going to give this thing about a 4 out of 5 for its abilities to clear guardians out. Feels pretty nice, but there are other options for sure in that heavy slot. I do really like LMGs, and the trusty dusty rockets as well with tracking feels super nice, so you have a lot of options for that. But this thing does have its place for sure, so get to grinding out those Trials of Osiris engrams. It'll probably be adept one more time this season since it is new, at least hopefully, but we shall see. It is Bungie. So thank you guys for watching again, keeping up with the channel. Truly appreciate all y'all. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit that bell so you can keep up to date with the builds, the reviews on weapons. Join the Discord as well so you don't miss out. That thing gives notifications for all my videos, all my streams as well. So truly appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.